I just set it to my razor. Hold on. I just closed the box. There's no like, hey, do it, like accept. Okay.
Um, no, yeah, once you choose it, it should be fine.
Okay. And then what do I do for yours?
All right, so you're gonna go to the PC audio.
Okay. Right click properties.
Perfect. So we can hear you now. That's great.
Okay. And now what about you?
And on my drop down, you're gonna select what says like Realtek Audio.
Okay. Yeah, well then there you go. I think
There
I
we
got it.
go. We're all good. We're all good.
All right. Let's go back to the chat again. What's up to Michael? Michael said he's at the Monticello, Arkansas at the 2023 Special Olympic Sports Camp. Jeff, I think you asked, was he there as a competitor or spectator? Let's see what else is going on. Coach Nick's here. What's up, Coach? Purple's here. All right, we're good to go. All right, so yeah, this is going to be, like I said, the Forbidden Door review show. We're going to run through the card, give thoughts on the card, and then also go into the results of round 2 of the King's Court Invitational. And I must say, something crazy has happened. So please stick around.
I'm actually interested to find out what happened here.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't think we were actually going to have it happen, but something crazy happened, and I was like, all right, cool. But anyways, let's get into it.
Audio cut out.
What's up?
No, I was saying, I'm pretty sure my audio cut out, but keep going. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's just your Canada internet. I don't think we can fix that. All right. So, anyways, let's get into it. We got the 0 hour up first. We had the Mogul Embassy versus Chaos. And let's see. This match was a pretty damn good match. I definitely enjoyed it. Oh, I guess beforehand, so there was a dark match between Tom Lawler and Serpentico. Do you want to give some thoughts?
Yeah, I was just about to interrupt you and tell you about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead. What happened?
So we were all surprised. It was 15 minutes before start time of the 0 hour. All of a sudden, Filthy Tom's music hits and he comes out and he has a really nice little match with Serpentico. Serpentico came out with Luther. Luther came out with the Canadian flag and all that stuff. And it was really cool and unexpected. I was kind of bummed we weren't going to see Tom Lawler because of the Adam Cole illness. If you guys didn't know, Adam Cole did not perform because of a illness where he was not approved to compete. So we got a quick match with Lawler and Serpentico. I loved it, man. It was awesome.
Cool. How long would you say that went? Like a couple minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
Actually, I think they gave it a good like 4 or 5 minutes, because it was about 15 minutes before the show started, so they gave it a decent amount of time, actually.
Apparently, we have an echo, according to Coach. Michael Duke says it's pronounced Monticello. Isn't that what I said?
Monticello.
Yeah.
I'll try to fix the echo. You go ahead and keep going.
Gotcha. Yeah, so the Chaos versus Mogul Embassy, thought this was a pretty good match. The 0 hour had a lot of good wrestling on in that first hour. It was just a really good card in general. But sorry again, that's what happens when I don't take enough notes. Mogul Embassy end up winning the match. Again, this was pretty good. This was an enjoyable match. I'm gonna pull up the spreadsheet real quick and run down the predictions. Should have had this ready. All right. So, in terms of Embassy, the Mogul Embassy versus Chaos. So remember, for the two round round 2 matchups, we had Ed versus Juhas and the Coog versus the Joker. So for this match, Ed took the Embassy and Juhas took Chaos. Now neither man picked a pinfall, so unfortunately there were no points awarded for any of that. Both the Coog and the Joker both chose the Embassy. winning with Rocky Romero specifically getting pinned. So Coog and Joker both got 2 points there. Ed only got 1 point. Juhas got 0 on that first one.
Oof.
But yeah, no, it was a really enjoyable match. Had a good time with it. Yeah. Next up, these seem out of order, but next up on this list was Billy Starks versus Athena. This was a quarterfinal match for the Owen. And again, I thought this was probably, I think this was my favorite match on the pre-show. I thought this was a really, really good match. If Billy Starks isn't signed yet, I think she definitely should be. I think Athena's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world right now. I think she's probably easily top 3 or top 4. That's just my opinion. But this was a really good match that really played to both of their strengths, and I really enjoyed it. And Athena ended up winning this one. What did you think about this match?
I loved it. I loved seeing Athena in person for the first time. And I think I figured out the echo. Move your mic away from the speakers that you're hearing me from.
See if that's better then.
Yeah, but Athena was amazing in person, dude. Like, seeing her on TV, you know, we've seen her 1,000 times, but for some reason in person, a lot of what she did just looked more impressive. I can't describe it, but loved seeing that in person. It was great. And Billy Starks, man, if she's not signed yet, let's get to it.
Yeah, I mean, for real. Like, I think she is signed personally, but you know, I want to see more Billy Starks on AEW television. All right, so for the predictions, we had a wash here. Well, not a wash. Everyone got a point. Everybody chose Athena. Ed, Juhas, Coog, and Joker all chose Athena here. No surprise. And so everybody got the point for that one. Moving right along here on the 0 hour. Next up, we got 2 Canadians going at it in Canada. Stu Grayson versus El Phantasmo. And again, this was another one. I thought this match was pretty good. I didn't really have any issues with it. I think it's my least favorite match on the 0 hour, probably of the whole pay-per-view. But there wasn't a bad match, I don't think, on this entire show. So, you know, take that with that grain of salt in mind. Jeff, what did you think of this match?
I thought it was amazing, man. Like, just this whole show, dude. Like, I don't have a single match that I didn't enjoy. Like, I never wanted to get up to go to the restroom. I didn't. Literally didn't. It was fantastic, man.
Yeah, definitely. So El Phantasmo ends up picking up the win, which I was not expecting. I actually thought Stu was going to win this. But to go into the predictions, so Ed chose Stu. So Ed at this point, not off to a great start. Juhas, though, did choose Phantasmo. Therefore, Juhas gets the point, and Ed did not. Moving on to the other match, Coog versus Joker. The Coog took Stu, but the Joker chose Phantasmo. So the Joker grabs the point there. So basically, Juhas and Joker move along, get an extra point. Coog and Ed, not so lucky on that one. Up next, we had United Empire. Kyle Fletcher, TJP, and Jeff Cobb versus LFI de Japon. And that was... This was a really good match. And that was Bushi, Hiromu Takashi, and Shingo Takagi. These multi-man matches are always really fun around Forbidden Door time. So it was cool to get this one in. Although I know that Kyle Fletcher is AEW signed, but this really was just kind of a New Japan match. There was no AEW mixture here, really. But I mean, regardless, it was a great match. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. LFI ends up picking up the win here. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was a decent match. If anything, this was the one that I didn't pay attention to the most. I was really getting to know everybody sitting down around us. And to be honest, we were getting interrupted. We had to stand up for somebody to sit down probably every 10 seconds during this match. So, you know, Didn't see a tremendous amount of this one, but it was still enjoyable.
Okay. So for the predictions, this one was now this one was actually a wash. So everybody took United Empire. Once again, Ed and Juhas did not choose who was going to take a pin. Not that it matters. Coog thought that Shingo was going to take the pin, whereas the Joker picked Bushi to get pinned. However, again, everyone chose United Empire to win. Oh wait, was it the other way around? Yeah, sorry. No one got the points there. I'm thinking of the other one. So yeah, no one got any points for that one. And that wrapped up the 0 hour. It was a really good 0 hour. Just the way it flowed. Obviously, having Renee and RJ City there once again. Just a really good way. Like that, AEW's really gotten to a point where they're doing the pre-shows pretty damn well, even if they don't load it up with matches. I think that they're definitely nailing the pre-show vibe with the in the presentation department. At least for me, I thought it was pretty good. All right, next up we started up the main card of Forbidden Door with the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. And again, this was so as we talked about, Jeff, with the Collision review on Saturday night, the Tanahashi swerve match left a lot to be desired. So I want to ask you, where how do you feel about Tanahashi on this match and this match in general?
So I think I said when we saw the swerve match that I had some suspicions that he might have been holding back just a little bit so he could save some energy for the MJF match. And I know it's probably not true, but I think I nailed it here. Like I really think he did hold back a little bit because this match with MJF was almost a literal opposite of that match with Swerve. It was incredible beginning to end. The crowd was absolutely insane, by the way, in Toronto. Um, I cannot give this crowd enough credit for how freaking amazing they were. Like this crowd was so loud, my ears were ringing like I had left a concert when this was over.
Yeah, so some things that I really liked about this match. I loved MJF's jacket. So
Oh yeah.
MJF comes out with his, usual ring attire, and his jacket on the back says New Japan is an indie. That was so well done by MJF. It definitely made me laugh. I really enjoyed this match. I thought that the in-ring psychology and the story being told in the ring was really awesome. And I do still think that Tanahashi's kind of showing his age. I think it's just an unfortunate fact that, that's just kind of where he's at in his career. But I really enjoyed that stuff. I also wanted to give special props to Bryce Remsburg for finally a referee of any wrestling promotion not being the biggest idiot in the world. So at one point, Tanahashi has MJF in the abdominal stretch, or no, I'm sorry, other way around. MJF has Tanahashi in the stretch, and MJF keeps grabbing the ropes to leverage to inflict more pain on Tanahashi. And the crowd, Bryce doesn't see it, but the crowd starts chanting, yelling at Bryce to look at MJF. And Bryce is like, wait a second. The crowd's telling me this. So he keeps looking at it. Eventually, he does end up catching Max. And Max doesn't care. He wants to be disqualified. He's like, do it. I don't give a shit. But instead, Bryce kicks his hand off of the rope, and the match continues. I think that that's really good. I don't like it when referees are just idiots.
No,
Obviously,
exactly.
for pro wrestling to work, there are times where you need to pull one over on the ref, but like sometimes it's hilariously bad. And so I did appreciate here them kind of being like, no, Bryce is smart enough to figure this one out.
Right. So real quick on this one, the people in the audience that were telling Bryce that he was holding the ropes. So before the show started, there was two young kids ringside, and they were had their faces painted like Darby Allin, and it was one of theirs birthday, and it was like this big deal, right? With Justin Roberts came over and all this stuff. So that's who was actually talking to Bryce. So I think it was maybe like he was acknowledging the kids because it was kind of a thing at the start of the show as well. But yeah, it was really cool from our point of view seeing him look at the kids like he's doing what? Like he actually like said it to him, like, "What's he doing?" And he like went to look over. It was great. Loved it.
Well, I know that later on in the show there was a point where you were on your phone a little bit, but these children are also brought up again later in the show. But we'll get into them. We'll get back to them. Going over to the predictions really quick. It's no surprise here. Everyone chose MJF to win this match. So everyone got a point. But so MJF wins the match. He gets out of Canada. Which is funny because he's probably staying in Canada considering that he has to be wrestling. He's probably going to be... I don't know if he's on Dynamite, but he's going to be wrestling on Collision. So you have to assume there's going to be a setup on Wednesday for him. But moving on.
I believe. Wait, I don't know if he said he'll be at Dynamite or Collision. You're right, because he said he wanted to get the hell out of Canada.
Yeah, he's like, I want to get the hell out of Canada. But no, it's confirmed that he is wrestling on Collision.
Yes, I'll be at Dynamite and Collision. Let's go.
Next up, we had CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima. And this was a quarterfinal for the Owen. I mean, I get to watch CM Punk wrestle on a pay-per-view. I've won. It's over. So that was something. And again, this the way the reaction, the same thing from Saturday. The reaction of that crowd, man. It was it shows you what we're in for.
This was 1,000 times better than I thought it would be, and I was absolutely shocked. I gotta say, I thought, CM Punk's just now coming back after another long time off. And this Kojima guy, when you first look at him, you're like, wow, he looks old. But dude, these guys tore the freaking house down. And the crowd, if you couldn't tell on TV, this crowd hated CM Punk like you wouldn't believe. Me and this dude next to me were kept chanting CM Punk. And every time we tried to start a CM Punk chant, dude, they booed us so hard we couldn't even get close to starting a chant.
Yeah, well, bunch of mouth breathers in Canada. What can I say? No, but I mean, it's great. And you could tell it's what Punk wants. I mean, after Collision, he did that promo where he's like, hey, guys, leader of this team, I'm going to get back on the horse and keep working hard, and I'm going to keep doing everything I've been doing. Which obviously people hated hearing him say that. But yeah, no, he's divisive. He always has been. He always will be. And so, I love it, and he loves it too. You can tell.
Yeah, for sure.
Once again on the predictions, no surprise here. Everyone went with CM Punk. Everyone got that point. Next up, we had for the AEW International Championship, Orange Cassidy defending against Daniel Garcia, Katsuyori Shibata, and Zack Sabre Jr. in a four-way dance. And my God, this was what I would say the first... I mean, I really enjoyed the CM Punk match, but this was the first, banger of the night. This was amazing. This was just an excellent match. Probably my second or third favorite match of the night.
I'll just say, this was the first of the 5-star matches on the night.
Yeah, no, that's really true. I would say MJF and Tanahashi was a solid 4. I would say Punk and Satoshi was a solid 4. But yeah, this is, for me, this is a 5-star. This was just really good. I love the hell out of it. So many great spots. So talk to me. What did you think about this match?
Dude, this match was maybe, I think I put it in Discord. I was like, MJF just lost his title of best 4-way dance. This match was so good. The spots where everybody just kept trading super kick to you, super kick to you, super kick to you, to all 4 of them, they just kept doing move over it. I was mesmerized, dude. Me and everybody around us, we were just all jaws in our lap. I just looked around, everyone just mouth open. It was wild, dude. It was so good.
I really loved a lot of the spots where Shibata and Zack Sabre Jr. were just kind of going at it with each other, and they just Daniel Garcia tried to get involved, and they were like, "Get out of here! We're fighting."
It was so funny.
Yeah, and so look, man, I've been saying it. I'm gonna continue to say it. Orange Cassidy, greatest champion in the company's history. Did you happen to catch the media scrum last night? Oh, I think Jeff's Toronto internet isn't
Hey
working.
man, just push through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, but did you hear what I said?
I did not hear the last about 5 seconds.
Okay. I asked you if you happened to catch the media scrum last night.
I did catch everything up until when Tony Khan continued on and on and on and on past 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
So Danielson, oof, hopefully I don't lose power here. It's actually thunderstorming right now. Um, yeah, pray for us. Anyways, so Brian Danielson absolutely puts over Orange Cassidy during the media scrum, saying like, "Hey, at first I was one of those guys where like I didn't get it, and then I watched him, and I kept watching him, and I'm like, wait a second, this guy's really good. This guy's fantastic." And again, when you have people like Shibata and Brian Danielson sitting here like singing the praises of someone, you gotta pay attention to that. Like you just have to.
100%.
And so I absolutely love this match. For me, the way this match ends, obviously Orange Cassidy picks up the win. Um, I wonder if we're not done with this story yet, because Zack Sabre Jr. and Shibata were both kind of still there with their belts as well. At the end of the match, Shibata shakes Orange Cassidy's hand before leaving the ring, and in a beautiful way, completing the circle of this story, because a year ago at Forbidden Door, Shibata returned to pro wrestling, saving Orange Cassidy. Whereas tonight, a year later, you have Orange Cassidy defending this title successfully and walking out of there and earning the respect of Shibata. So I thought this was awesome. I thought this was absolutely incredible.
Did they catch this on camera at the end? Daniel Garcia is the only one of the four who didn't have a belt.
Yeah.
So he was outside the ring on the ramp, looking at all of them with his hands on his hips, shaking his head like, this sucks. Like it literally looked like someone being like, this sucks, I'm going home. And he like turned around and he just walked away holding his head down.
So I don't think that the camera caught that part. They were focusing on the ring because I don't remember seeing that. Oof. Did you hear that thunder just now?
What's that?
Did you hear that thunder just now? That was really loud. Wow. Anyways,
Getting interesting. I got Canadian internet, you got thunderstorms.
I know. Thank you guys for bearing with us tonight. All right. Also, shame on me for not taking notes. I was having too much fun. I should have took notes. Anyways, in terms of the predictions, everybody picked exactly the same thing, including successfully picking that Daniel Garcia was going to take the pin here. So Orange Cassidy pinning Garcia was the predicted outcome from all four competitors. So all four competitors got 2 points. Moving on. Next up was for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Sonata defending against Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And this match kind of went about as I expected, which was it was way better than most people thought it was going to be. I thought it was absolutely a great match. Sonata ends up picking up the win here. Oh, why did that happen? Oh no.
What happened?
You'll see in 20 seconds. My camera, I was moving some stuff around before we went live. My camera just kind of fell a little bit. You're gonna see it in like 5 seconds. I fixed it though, I think. So, anyways, yeah, it was a great match. Really enjoyed it. What were your thoughts on this one?
So the spot where Shibata and Orange Cassidy were going at it, and
Mm-hmm.
every time Garcia tried to step in, they just beat his ass. I was laughing so hard, I literally had tears coming. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. It was so fucking funny, and especially the way that the crowd was just adding to everything. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a wrestling. Right?
Yeah. So again, this was a really good match. Sonata ends up picking up the win and retaining the IWGP Championship. Um, Obviously, what everyone wants to talk about though is the post match.
Oh, you were asking me about Jungle Boy. I'm a retard. Sorry.
It's okay. I figured there was some issue with the internet where you didn't hear me. But why don't you give us your thoughts on that match too?
So I did enjoy the match, and the entire time, everybody around me was just like, "When's he turning on Hook? When's he turning on Hook?" Like we were all just like, "When is it happening?" And when the match finished, and it didn't seem like it was going to happen. We were like, "Oh man, we got to wait a little longer." And then all of a sudden, they started walking up the ramp together, and we all just like got up on our seats and held our breath. We all saw it coming, man. Like the whole crowd was like, you know what I mean? And when it happened, dude, the roof just exploded in that the Scotia Bank.
So this was one that actually came across really well on TV. So what happened, Jeff, the way it was shot and was presented on TV was, so you see Jack and Hook leave the ring together and they start walking and you're like, "Oh, is it going to happen?" And then the camera cuts to commentary. Like the show's
Yeah.
moving on. And so you have the commentary there. You have Taz and everyone, and Kevin Kelly, who, again, I said it on Saturday. Kevin Kelly, absolutely terrible. Just he was so bad last night. Like it's not even funny how bad he
I guess
was.
I guess I'm glad I don't have to hear the announcers when I'm there live.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hit or miss though because you also missed a really cool moment with Taz. So they had
Oh,
Yeah, so they have Taz on commentary for this, and again, they cut to the commentary team, and they're like, "All right, well, next up on the card, they start talking about the Elite a little bit, and the camera cuts back to Jack and Hooks very suddenly, and then they do it. They do the spot where Jack attacks Hook, and so we also pointed this out in the Discord, but Jack came out wearing red, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's happening." Um,
yeah, look, just like Luchasaurus's colors.
yeah, exactly. Coach is back. What's up, Coach? Um, So I thought that in terms of like these betrayal heel turns, which are very cliche at this point, I thought that this was extremely well done. I mean, just in every sense of the word, the presentation, the unexpected nature of it, how you thought that it wasn't going to happen, and they moved the show like we're moving on, and then they cut back and like, oh no, we're doing this now. I thought that was great. I thought that was just really excellently done. The way that Jack handled it also was really well done. So Jack attacks Hook and he mocks the fans for doing his thing, and he grabs the FTW championship and he throws it at Hook on the ground. Taz is on commentary and like as his father, as Hook's dad, like it was so smart of them to have Taz there because you could tell Taz was I'm retired. Like you could tell Taz wanted to get up and whoop Jack Perry's ass. Like he was mad and he was like Hook's gonna kill you. Like when the crowd started chanting, "You fucked up."
Oh yeah.
Taz was like, "Yeah, he has. Yeah, yes, he has." Like Taz was going through it, and then they cut back to Taz, and like Taz has his glasses off, and yeah. So again, this was masterfully done, and I just really enjoyed it. Jack Perry did some social media work too to kind of work it along. Danhausen said to Hook on Twitter, like, because Danhausen's his friend too. He's like, Danhausen would never do what Jungle Jack Jerry did to you, and or what he did. And Jack responded to that saying, "What? Have a good match? Fuck you." Which I thought
I
that was
was
great.
I
What?
was not expecting that.
Oh yeah, no, it's good, man. It's really good. Jack's gonna be speaking on Dynamite on Wednesday. He did like a video for AEW social media where he was like walking away and Renee was like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Everyone keeps asking me what happened. I'll talk on Wednesday." And then he just left. But so yeah, that was an excellent moment on this pay-per-view. And I'm really excited to see where we go from here with Jack Perry. I think this is going to be a really good change for him. I think a much needed change at that.
Yeah. Well, real quick, Rome. Speaking of Danhausen, want to introduce you to an awesome creation of Purplenesses, uh, the Forbidden Dollhausen.
Yeah, I
Courtesy
saw that on the Discord. She posted that on the Discord. It looks really cool.
your turn.
So real quick for this, again, this was kind of a gimme in terms of the match itself. Um, Everyone chose Sonata, so everyone got the point. Now, I will say one of the bonus questions was, will there be a face or heel turn from an AEW wrestler? Everyone predicted yes. Everyone predicted Jack Perry. So everyone got a point for that one. Um, but no, this is great. This is really good. Um, let's just keep moving on. Next up, we had the Elite, Eddie Kingston and Tomohiro Ishii versus the Blackpool Combat Club, including Shota Umino and Konosuke Takeshita. And I would say that this was probably the second 5-star, if not like a high 4. This was an excellent match. Super awesome. Really enjoyed it. Just a blast. Just completely.
Dude, I
Sorry, go
have
ahead.
to listen. I have to admit here, when Eddie Kingston chose Ishii, I was kind of like, oh, I was like, man, we could have made this so good with someone that's like really good. But I'm eating my words here, dude. Ishii kicked ass in this match. Everything about this match was awesome. Like you said, this should at least be a high 4, 4.5, 4 3/4, because it was incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, much like you, I really thought that actually having Eddie and Ishii here was just really well done. It wasn't what we were expecting, but I think it ended up being pretty damn great. Um, so yeah, I mean, just again, these multi-man matches are just very enjoyable, and BT today was also pretty funny with Eddie Kingston and the Bucks. So if you haven't watched BT, Jeff, I would recommend it.
I did see it. Yeah, they're like, you tried to kill us, and you put my Dior's in the mud. Like, come on, man.
He's like, yeah, we should. Yeah, can we do the eyebrow thing too?
That was awesome. I actually really liked that, and I don't know if anybody in the world noticed that. Do you think anybody noticed it?
During the match, no, I don't think anyone noticed it, but it's still really cool.
If you guys didn't see it, they had Eddie shave a nice little line in their eyebrow so they all matched.
Yeah. So for the predictions, we have a rare break where I think everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of different predictions here, and unfortunately, nobody successfully predicted the winner here. Oh, we got a Canadian War Machine here saying, "Hey Jeff, I'm the guy from the hotel. Hope you enjoyed the show as
What
much as
up, War
I did."
Machine? What up, dude?
Hey,
I just
what's
met
up,
him
man?
downstairs at the little, free breakfast hall from the hotel. We didn't get a chance to meet up at the show, man. I was hoping we could, but nice to see you here, bro. What up,
All right.
Haseen?
Haseen Terrell is also here. What's up, Haseen? How you doing, man? So, anyways, for the predictions, Ed said that the BCC were going to lose, and that Eddie Kingston was going to pin Claudio. Eddie did not pin Claudio, so Ed does get a point here for picking the Elite. But he does not get the pin attempt correctly. Juhas chose that John Moxley was going to pin Eddie. Obviously, the BCC did not win, so no points for Juhas. The Coug picked the exact same thing with Moxley pinning Eddie. Did not happen. And the Joker chose the BCC as well. They said that Ishii was going to get pinned. They thought that Ishii was there to take the pin. Which, obviously, he was there to get the pin. So,
I was shocked. I
that
was
was
like,
very
did he
surprising.
just
That
get
was
the pin?
very, very surprising. I felt like that was them giving Ishii his moment where it's like, they've been bringing him into AEW. He's like one of the New Japan guys that, like, he's like the most frequent, I think, of all. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like most times New Japan's in town, Ishii shows up. Um, and so for them to give him this big win here, I thought that was like, that's really cool. I thought that was dope.
Yeah.
Scene's asking how was the weekend. Weekend was pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed Forbidden Door from the comfort of my own couch.
Yeah, Haseen, I got to be here live. I'm still in Canada. I'll be there at Dynamite and Collision, so it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, War Machine. Sorry we missed you at breakfast today, man. We went a little bit late. We got there like 9:45 ish.
All right. Let's just keep moving on. Next up, we had the AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm defending against the honestly just on fire still to this point, Willow Nightingale. I said earlier Athena top 3 or 4 women's wrestler right now, and I don't know how you don't put Willow Nightingale in that same conversation.
Oh, dude, like we were saying a couple weeks ago, or even I think it was just on Collision Review. Willow is possibly female wrestler of the year. Like it's gonna take some work from someone to topple that.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy how far she's come in the last year. I mean, she's a star, she's a complete star, man. But no, this was a really good match. Toni Storm ends up picking up the win. I still do wish that I know that they had I think Stardom had a show same day. It would have been nice to try to get someone from over there, which I think that they actually might be setting up to have Julia come over from Stardom and do a match with Toni Storm. So we'll see if that happens, but that seems like that's the play. Everyone here in the predictions chose Toni Storm, so everyone gets a point. Next up, the match that unfortunately Jeff might not have much to say about. He was on his phone for a lot of it. It was the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. Jeff, now here's the thing. Here's the bone that I have to pick with you before we talk about this 7-star match. And I think you misconstrued what was said in the Discord. If I were in your shoes there and I'm in that building for that match, my phone is nowhere near my fucking hands for the entire match. And that's all I was trying to say last night.
I understand, but you
Like
guys
I don't care how fast of a texter I am. I don't care. Like you said at one point, and I think Ed also commented, you were like, "Oh, I'm just texting during the rest holds." And like I'm like, "What fucking rest holds are you watching?"
holds. I said rest spots. The
There are no
only
rest spots. This was a 100 miles per hour in a beautiful Ferrari 7-star wrestling match. They went out and they outdid the Wrestle Kingdom match, for God's sakes.
listen. Anytime that you had a text from me going through Discord, both men were on the mat, okay, or on the outside, spilled on the outside. It takes me less than 5 seconds to type OMG dot dot dot. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust me, I did not miss a single spot. I, you know, it's just,
Okay, whatever you say. Anyways, yeah, as I said, this was just an absolute historic classic, all timer, like whatever you want to say. All the buzzwords that you can think of that you could throw at this match, go ahead, do it. It's what it is. Um, Kind of getting to the point where Kenny Omega, like he's gonna probably be the wrestler of the year. I mean, obviously, I still stand. I mean, like I love Orange Cassidy. I think he's having a hell of a year in terms of quality and quantity. But Kenny is just going out there and between these 2 matches with Ospreay, he's got Vikingo coming up in 3 weeks at AAA. He's obviously doing AEW stuff. I don't know what else you can say. But yeah, this match was absolutely incredible. I really enjoyed how much more back and forth this match was. While I do love the Wrestle Kingdom match, I would say that Kenny got in like 90% of the offense in that match. So this was nice to have it be a little bit more balanced, a little bit more back and forth. Thought it was again excellent, just absolutely excellent. I love the Don Callis foil here, where even after Ospreay wins, like he tells Callis in like a post, like a Twitter video thing, like Don's like celebrating with Ospreay, and Ospreay's like, "Okay, you can go now. You can leave. You can fuck off, piss off, mate," or whatever he says. And Don's like, "Yep, no problem, man. Have a great night, champ. Have fun." And Don walks away. Um,
and speaking of Don Callis, real quick,
mhm.
that would be my only slight bone to pick with the match was him coming back after being kicked out. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
No, I definitely agree with that. I thought it was weird that the ref entertained him being out there as long as they did. I forget who the ref was for this match. I think it was Paul Turner.
Red Shoes?
Was it Red Shoes?
It was the that might have been for the main event. I can't remember, but we were chanting Red Shoes. I remember doing that.
I mean, Red Shoes was reffing. I just don't remember who was the referee for this match
Yeah, me
specifically.
neither.
But again, I definitely thought that to be fair was a thing where I was like, why are they letting Don be out here for as long as he was? Um, Don ends up tossing Ospreay a screwdriver, which Ospreay uses. Um, Ospreay uses Omega's V trigger, the one winged angel, but Kenny kicks out at one. And when Kenny kicked out at one, I was pacing. I was like I was shaking
Yeah.
with how good this was.
I was a few seconds ahead of you guys. That's where I typed. I was like, "You're not ready."
But so match went on. Ospreay does a Tiger Driver 91, couldn't get the pin. Then he hits the Stormbreaker to regain his IWGP US title. Again, just whatever you want to say. I mean, last year I thought match of the year was at Forbidden Door with Cassidy and Ospreay. This year, this is definitely my match of the year to date. As much as I loved Anarchy in the Arena and Kenny Ospreay won at Wrestle Kingdom, and this was really just excellent.
Dude, so about 3/4 of the way through this match, I had like an epiphany. I was here at Forbidden Door last year in Chicago, and I
Mm-hmm.
got to see Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy, which was absolutely incredible. About 3/4 of the match through this one, I was like, I've got to see both of these Will Ospreay matches. I was like, this is the greatest moment ever of like my wrestling life.
Yeah, definitely. Chat seems to be saying that Aubrey was the ref during this match.
Gotcha, yeah. War Machine said Red Shoes just did Jungle Boy Sonata. That's right. He was definitely more over than the guys in the ring. I'll give him that for sure.
So for the predictions, everybody chose Will Ospreay.
Wow.
So, well, you see, Jeff. So once you got knocked out of the tournament, all of the real contenders remained. This was the second round. This was a very level playing field, and I mean, I'm not going to say who wins all these two matchups, but everybody did very similar and very well. Like
Nice. Now, I
everybody
gotta
picked
ask
up
you,
points
be
here.
honest, who would you have chosen in this? Were you choosing Will Ospreay?
So like when I was sitting there thinking about it, and actually like after Juhas like submitted his picks, he called me. We were talking a little bit about the card, and he asked me what I thought, and I was like, oh, it depends on if they were going to do a third match at Wembley. Like if they were going to do a third match at Wembley, I thought Kenny was going to win, but if they didn't, I thought Will was going to win and take the title back to Japan. Or well, it's the U.S. title, but whatever. Um,
Here's another question.
However, I still do think they do a third match. I don't know if they do it at Wembley though. I mean, we have to see what happens with the Elite and CM Punk and all that, or what their plan is for that. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, this is an absolute classic. It's a match we're gonna be talking about at the end of the year.
So, real quick, one more question here. So, you said third match at Wembley. Isn't this technically their third match? They had a regular match on Dynamite one time, didn't they?
A tag match, but not a singles match.
Okay, so that wasn't a singles match that I'm remembering.
No, you're thinking of a trios match. Actually, I believe
Okay,
it was the Elite versus United Empire.
good. Okay, then
Yeah,
then that has to happen at Wembley. It's got it.
yeah.
It's 40 minutes from his house, for Christ's sake.
So I would say just end the pay per view at this point. As much as I like Danielson and Okada, like there was nothing topping this. Um, but they tried with Sting, Darby Allin, and Naito, sorry, versus Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. Um, you know, you can't ask anybody to go after Osprey Omega. You can't, and I think that this match's biggest problem was that it happened right afterwards because I don't have much to say about this match. Because after that match, I went and got a drink, I went to the bathroom, I decompressed, I tried to get ready for the main event. I saw only a few minutes of this match. But what I did see, I enjoyed. I mean, again, I don't really have any issues with the match itself, but then again, I needed time to cool down.
Oh,
So,
everybody was decompressing here, man. Like for sure.
yeah. But Sting, Darby
Did
Allin,
you
and
get to see
Naito.
the pay
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Did you get to see the table spot?
I did see the table spot. Yes, that was excellent.
So, do you think that Sting was supposed to move out of the way there? Because right at that moment,
Mm.
it seemed like the match fell apart. I don't know if it seemed that way on TV, but from the audience point of view, as soon as Sammy hit that table spot to Sting, everything just kind of like went chaotic. And when the match was said and done, Minoru
Mm-hmm.
Suzuki bolted to the back. He didn't wait for anyone to raise their hands, no nothing. He was just, I'm out, and he was gone. And the way that he was walking was like, it wasn't like someone who got injured. It was like someone who was pissed. And I have no idea what happened there, but the table spot was sick. It was awesome. But I
Mm-hmm.
really felt like Sting was supposed to roll off of the table, possibly, but I'm not sure.
I don't know, but he ended up taking the spot. And in this media scrum, he said he was fine. He said he was good. So, guess we're good. He's wrestling on Dynamite on Wednesday, too.
Okay, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Tornado tag with Jericho. They did that at the media scrum, right?
Yep. I also like how every media scrum since Brawl Out has had somebody go crazy at a media scrum. Like, because of course they do. So like this one, they had Jericho freak out at this one. He takes a baseball bat and he hits a water bottle with the bat, and he ends up hitting somebody in the media section.
Yeah.
He's like, "That's for you, you punk," or something like that. Um, Canadian War Machine says Sammy disappeared after that spot too. Yeah, I think that spot was meant to take him out. You know,
Yeah.
Sting no sold it though. You said that the match kind of fell off. Sting got right back into the ring after that spot. I do think he was. Now that I'm thinking about it, I do think he was supposed to get out of the way of that, because he no sold the hell out of it. Now that I think about it, he was back in that ring like 15 seconds later.
Yeah, but most of the time when Sting no sells something, he always gets up pounding his chest. And he didn't do that. He like crawled back into the ring and then he was like, fuck it. you know?
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed
All
the
right.
match. It was fine. Like
Yeah.
you said, who else is gonna go after Kenny and Will like that? And I think if anybody could have and made it decent, Sting and Jericho, they pulled it off here. I think they did fine.
So, not Sting, Darby, and Naito win the match. Let's go over to the predictions. Naito ends up pinning Suzuki. Ed predicted that Jericho's team was going to win. Did not happen. He predicted that Jericho was going to pin Darby. Juhas predicted that Naito was going to pin Jericho. So Juhas got 2 points for this, choosing the right winners and choosing the man who did the pin. The Coog and the Joker both chose Naito pinning Jericho as well. So they both also get 2 points. But again, they both chose it, so it's kind of a wash. Okay. And now we get to the main event. Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. And man, look, I don't want to be that guy because this match was great. But like, I'm sorry, Ospreay Omega stole the show. Like that after that match, like, I obviously love Danielson finally using the final countdown. Tony Khan says that it cost him to use that song once. It cost him the same amount of money it would cost to pay a wrestler.
I'm fairly sure it's 100,000. I'm pretty sure the band just made it a nice round number for everybody across the board. They're like, if you want it, it's 100,000.
Yeah. Tony Khan says that the song does count in perpetuity. So in the future, when they want to like stream it and stuff, they can still use the song for that moment. But it was a great moment and a great match. It sucks that Danielson fractured his arm during this match.
I mean, 6 to 8 weeks for a fractured arm, that sounds crazy to me. I'm like, what kind of fracture only takes 6 weeks to heal?
I don't know, but the problem is that really messes with their Forbidden Door plans, because as Fightful reported, probably I think it was yesterday, they were planning on doing Blood and Guts at I think it was July 17th in Boston for Dynamite. So if they were planning on doing the Elite versus the BCC, which you have to think they were, I don't know if I don't know if you want to push that back. I would push it back, especially if you haven't announced it yet.
Oh, absolutely. Put blood and guts back 8 weeks if you need to. 8 weeks is only 2 months. Jesus.
Yeah, but Tony's always kind of like to keep it in the summer, and if you push it back 2 months at that point, it's a fall thing. I don't know. Tony likes to keep things kind of organized in that sense. I feel like so. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they stick with it or not. I mean, yeah, you never know. We'll see. But so Jeff, what did you think about this match?
Dude, so I've been asking, or I've been wanting this match for about a decade. Obviously, I watched E back in the day when Daniel Bryan was making his up and coming, becoming tag team champions with Kane, and Team Hell No, and I've been a massive Bryan Danielson fan for a long time. And as soon as I started paying attention to New Japan with Kenny Omega, that's who I started paying attention to. I found out about him on YouTube. Um, I wanted to see Okada versus Danielson and Kenny versus Danielson. Danielson a few times, but this this was incredible. Their styles matched up so well here. Um, I loved the back and forth between these two. And there was a spot in this match that I had never seen in a Danielson match where he was doing his chop kick, and he just pissed Okada off, and Okada just like got up in his face. I've never seen anybody kind of like stare Danielson down like that, after the chop and kick maneuver. I really, really enjoyed that spot.
Hmm. Yeah, so like I said, about 10 minutes before the end of the match, Danielson does end up fracturing his arm. Danielson, during the media scrum, does say that there were some things that he couldn't do, so he actually had to hype up the crowd. And so he did something that, according to the media scrum, he said he would never do an AEW, and he said it will never happen again. He does the yes chant. And, like, my God, what a moment, right? Because it's like, whew, man, I was, again, like, while I do think that this match for me was not as enjoyable as it could have been because of how good Ospreay Omega was, it just sucked that oxygen out for me. But when they do that spot with Danielson doing the S chant, and it's even almost kind of a throwback because at this point his arm is broken. So he's like doing the one hand.
Hanging off his shoulder.
He's doing the one hand yes chant, very like WrestleMania 30-esque. And I'm just like, man, all right, that was a really special moment. And definitely helped me with this match a lot. So yeah, this match ended up being a great match. Sucks that Danielson will be out. Hopefully they do push the blood and guts back and don't do it without him. But we'll see.
Yeah,
So in terms of the
you heard me there, but that yes chant that he started with the one arm, I literally almost cried, dude. I was like, I never thought I'd see him do it again. And I even
right, yeah.
there was a lady sitting next to me at this point. I don't even know how she wound up in the seat because it was a dude for a while. But I just like turned to this random lady and I was like, he hasn't done that in AEW yet. And she just kind of gave me this weird look, and I was just like, oh my God.
Oh man, so in terms of predictions, everyone chose Danielson. So as you can tell,
Danielson's submission on Okada. Holy shit, what the hell was that? Did they mention it on commentary? Like, did they explain that submission like a name or anything?
I don't recall.
Dude, I can't even describe to you what this submission was. It was the most octopus spider web tangled up weird thing I've ever seen. You need to go check it out if you can see it. It was one of the coolest and nastiest looking submissions I've ever seen.
Well, all right, that was Forbidden Door. An absolute excellent show. Completely excellent pay-per-view. They've once again outdone themselves. This I mean, next year, please do Tokyo Dome. I would say.
Yeah.
You got to run Forbidden Door from the Tokyo Dome. But so let's.
Los Angeles. You got to go to LA. Go to the West Coast.
No, see, I think you didn't. I think you do LA at some point, but in my opinion, you did America, you did Canada. You got to do Japan next. I think that's the play, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Send it to Japan.
All right, so let's get into the bonus questions for the King's Court Invitational. So question number 1, bonus question number 1, how many tables will be broken? And Jeff, only one table was broken on this night. Ed and Juhas both chose 3, going over the limit, so no points for either of them. Coog chose 4, and the Joker chose 3. So once again, both over the limit. No points awarded for correctly predicting tables. Question number 2. Will Mercedes Moné make an appearance? Ed said no. Juhas said yes. Coog said yes. Joker said no. Ed and Joker got it right. That's a no. Mercedes did not appear, so therefore they both got a point. Question number 3. How many people will bleed during this show? And there were 3. Tony Storm, Kenny Omega, and Will Ospreay.
Yep.
Unless I missed one. I don't think I did, though. But that was 3. I don't think so. No, I think that was it. Yeah. So, Ed chose 6, which is over the limit. Juhas correctly predicted 3. So, Juhas got that point.
Nice.
The Coog chose 5. So, he also went over the limit. Ironically enough, the Joker also chose 3. Also getting the point. The next question. Will an AEW wrestler turn face or heel? And who will it be? The Coog is here. Coog is... What's up, Coog? We're getting close to the end of the points. You're about to find out if you move on to the finals of the King's Court Invitational.
Oh, shit. Coog's on his alt account. What'd you say, Coog? You go into some WWE chat and start some trouble, bro?
Anyway, so everyone said that yes, there will be a face heel turn, and everyone predicted Jack Perry. So everyone got a point there. The next question was, will Don Callis reveal a member of his new faction? Everyone predicted yes. Alas, there was no new member of his faction tonight. And no, I do not count the military guys because they were just geeks. They don't count.
I mean, we didn't get introduced to them, but they were certainly there.
I mean, okay, even if I say it's right, everybody predicted the same thing, Jeff. So it's not.
That's fair. That's fair.
So we're just gonna go with no. Nobody gets a point there. So, the next question was: will a match for All In be announced during the Forbidden Door show? Ed said no. Juhas said yes. Coog said yes. Joker said no. There was no All-In match announced. Ed and Joker both got a point. Lastly, the final question. If Jeffrey Vegas was still in the tournament and had not gotten obliterated in the first round, how many points would he have gotten in this round? Ed said 8. Juhas gave you a very generous 14 points. I don't know what Juhas was thinking here. So obviously Ed got the point for that one. The Coog and the Joker both chose 7.
Sounds about right.
that's a fair bet because that was your score on in the first round. So that was a very safe bet from both of them. I was quite impressed because that was actually exactly the number I was expecting people to guess. Um, so they both got a point because they're both right. It doesn't matter because they both got the point. So Jeff, I know that obviously you weren't keeping track of this. For Ed versus Juhas, who do you think won? What's your guess here?
There was a couple of times where you said Juhas didn't quite, get it correct there. So I think Ed might have pulled this out by just a tiny little margin.
Well, here's the funny thing. So when going through the matches, Ed did technically win. However, due to mostly the bonus points, well, actually Ed also got bonus points too. We have a tie.
Wow.
With 15 points each, Ed and Juhas have tied. Now, as I said at the beginning of the tournament, I did try to think about contingency plans for how this was going to work. And I will announce that contingency plan because we must have a winner. I will announce that contingency plan during the Dynamite review show. So you're going to have to tune back in to see what we're going to do. Now, I already have a pretty good idea, but I need to iron out a few things in my head before I officially unveil it. But I think it will be really fun. So for the Coog versus the Joker, Jeff, would you like to make a prediction here as to who walked away with this one?
I'm gonna say that the Coog won here because I got faith in the Coog, man. He's like a encyclopedia of wrestling. So I'm gonna go with the Coog. Final answer.
Well, unfortunately, the Coog did lose. And the Coog lost a lot of the loss really kind of boiled down to bonus points here. So Coog thought Mercedes was going to appear, and she did not. The Joker said no, so the Joker got the point there. I think the Coog also said that an all-in match was going to be announced. He said yes. Joker said no. So it would have actually been a tie if the bonus points hadn't shaken out as well. So Coog got 15 points, much like Ed and Juhas. So Ed, Juhas, and Coog all tied with 15 points. The Joker, because of bonus points alone, did get 18 points.
Wow.
I know. I was very surprised. I was like, I'm mad in retrospect that we didn't do like a really good preview show because you were in Canada, because I would have loved to have like really sat down and made some picks and see where I would have aligned here. Because like 18 points is kind of fucking nuts. I was like, Jesus. I talked to the Joker this morning, and I was like, because I counted all the points up this morning, and I was like, holy shit, dude. Like I didn't tell them what they got, but I was like, holy shit. But so they're finding out probably at this moment that they won. So that means that the bracket is now getting ready to advance to the finals. The Joker has made the finals of the tournament. The Joker will go to All In and face either Ed or Juhas. Now, like I said, I will be announcing further details about tiebreakers on Wednesday, or I guess third. I don't know when we're doing a show. Our next podcast, we will have it planned out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for us here. I mean, I think do you have anything else you want to talk about your experience in Canada?
No, man, this was just an absolutely incredible show, beginning to end. I didn't leave my seat, man. Like it was so good. It was absolutely incredible. Um, there was barely any empty seats in the entire arena, just like three or four scattered here and there. Um, it was incredible. And at one point, I was up in the top row, but I was down in the front row of the top row. You could literally see Will Ospreay's pool of blood on the ground. Like I could literally see it, and I was like, "All right." And I don't know if they forgot to clean it up or they just missed it, but during the entire Jericho Sting match, there was still a giant blood smear on the side of the steps.
I
And we all
saw
couldn't
that.
stop
Yeah.
looking at it. All of us were like, dude, look at the blood on the stairs.
So gnarly. Um, Going over to the chat. Yes, Coog, you only got 15 points, and I was also very shocked. Coog, though, I want you to don't take this as a loss necessarily. Obviously, it is one, but I mean, 15 points should have been enough for you to win. I don't like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't like Jeff getting 7 points, getting knocked out, like KO'd in the first round. Like this was a hell of a thing for you, and I might have some ideas. We'll see what we do in the future, but this outing from you was definitely recognized. Don't worry about it. But all right. Canadian War Machine says I was in row 1 in the regular seating, right before the floor seats. Best seat, I think. That's dope. Really cool. All right. Well, that's gonna just about do it for us here. This has been episode 155, I think. Right, Jeff? 155?
I think it's 154. I believe I put 154.
I love you too, Coop. Um, yeah, okay, 154. Usually I have it in front of me because I'm watching the actual YouTube video.
I can't wait for Dynamite, dude.
All right, sorry about that. Just doing some little things here.
So,
Trying to find
I
things.
can't wait for Dynamite and Collision Wednesday, Thursday, back to back. It's gonna be so sick.
Yeah.
I will not be putting any spoilers, I promise, from Collision.
Yes, please do not. Anyways, yeah, so this has been episode 154 of the Broken Tables podcast. Thank you to everyone hanging out with us here tonight. Please hit that like button and subscribe on your way out. King's Court Invitational, the second round is wrapping up. However, like I said, we have a tie. So there will be a tiebreaker announced. I think it's going to be actually really fun, what I have planned. But again, our next podcast will be when I will announce that. In the meantime, to stay in the know, make sure you join our Discord. Make sure you follow both Jeff and myself on Twitter, where we can also be reached for fun conversations. If you like video games, we do the Game Room podcast here. Fortunately, our schedule was a little messed up, so we haven't done a show in the past 2 weeks, but we're going to be doing one hopefully soon. Jeff, or Coach wants to know all the spoilers. No, you could DM Coach. I don't want to know any spoilers.
I'll DM him to you, Coach.
You should just FaceTime Coach so Coach could watch the show live.
Right?
But anyways, yeah. So he's Jeff. I'm Rome. I don't think Jeff has the foam fingers. He should have brought those to Canada.
No, man, we thought about it after we got here.
But all right. Until next time. Top guys. Out.